Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're getting into our very first Season 7 Great League Go Battle League battles. Now, your boy is excited for the season. No, unfortunately, there haven't been any move changes to potentially spice up the Great League meta, which is unfortunate. One recommendation that I would have to Niantic for whenever we enter a new season is I love the whole mid-season move pool update, and I hope they're going to continue with that this season, but I also think they should have it in the beginning of the season, especially because these seasons are bit long. One other thing that I do feel personally about these seasons is I think they could shorten them a little bit, maybe take off like a week or two. Doesn't have to be as short as previous seasons, but 3 months is quite a while. Honestly, during Kanto, I was putting out slow content and whatnot. Even the last week when it was all 3 leagues, I also slowed down on content just because it's a long season. Not only do you need your rest, but you lose a little bit of motivation, especially after you hit that legend rank. But the journey begins again, and your boy loves a solid push. But these are, the beginning of the season battles, and apparently ELO doesn't really get taken into consideration much in the beginning of seasons anymore, and I kind of like it that way. It gives us a chance to test the spice for today's video, and that is Shadow Armaldo. Yeah, you saw the title right. I'm happy I didn't take these first battles too seriously because we ran into quite the interesting opponents. Some people probably just doing it for the dust, some other people that are not too versed with PvP, which is completely understandable, and I do worry that them facing me this early on might discourage them from potentially pursuing PvP, but it made for quite some hilarious battles. And like I said, I'm happy I didn't take them too seriously, and I went with something like Shadow Armaldo because this thing is... Let's just get into the video. So I put it together with Swampert and Venusaur, and it performs. It's got a quick move of Fury Cutter, it's got charge moves of Rock Blast and Cross Poison. Not the best moveset. Fury Cutter is quite spammy, and we're getting into this first battle, and Stunfisk is not a Pokemon I want to see because I'm dealing like resisted damage with all my moves. So I needed to get out of there. I save swap into Swampert. They match me with a Galvantula, and I'm like, a double electric strat, I respect it. Maybe this is a tough opponent right off the bat with my Armaldo play, and then they go for a charge move pretty quickly. I also didn't like how they got that Volt Switch through. So I let it come through, and it ends up being a Cross Poison. I'm like, that's a debatable moveset on your Galvantula. And then they go for another charge move here, and I'm like, that was 3 Volt Switches, but it felt pretty quick. So it ends up being another Cross Poison. I unfortunately clicked my Hydro Cannon. I should have just went for a full Mud Shot down, but as much as the team looked meta at first, as we continue with this battle, it is a fairly meta team. My opponent just needs more practice with it, and that's the best way I'm going to put that, because I don't want to come off the wrong way. Like I said, I want to encourage as many people as possible to get into PvP and help grow the community. So I would definitely just recommend a move change. You definitely want Discharge and Lunge on your Galvantula 1000%. The only reason why I'm running Cross Poison is because Armaldo has terrible moveset. But because we were able to flip switch, we have a positive situation for our Shadow Armaldo. Now, let's talk a little bit more about Shadow Armaldo. Because the Rocket event, technically speaking, this is the first time you could use Shadow Armaldo and go Battle League battles and not have frustration on it. So, I gotta flex this super effective Rock Blast that hopefully, if we don't get too much lag, will actually go through my opponent's shields. And Fury Cutter builds up energy relatively quickly. Rock Blast, though, not a great move. The Shadow bonus maybe helps it a bit. You saw how much the first Aerial Ace did its neutral damage because that Rock and Bug typing. The Rock typing is just not a great typing in general. The Bug typing helps kind of clutch some of the things that Rock takes super effective from. And nicely enough, that Rock Blast does take out the remaining health of the what the heck? Mandibuzz. I'm like, what Pokemon was that? So maybe we could say Shadow Armaldo has some play against a relatively meta Pokemon in that. And thankfully, because I was able to flip switch, I can line Venusaur up with the Unova Stunfisk and take this first match. So that's a GG. So far, Shadow Armaldo, it did something. Also, take note of the moveset of my Swampert. I want to address that quickly. Don't run Earthquake. Run Sludge Wave in Great League. You pretty much want Sludge Wave on Swampert in almost all leagues, but you definitely want it in Great League. I just forgot to change it, and as we continue to do more and more of these battles, I was like, I don't think I need to change it that badly. Thankfully, it didn't come back to bite me. Getting into this next matchup, I thought I had a positive lead because I would take like neutral from Vine Whips, but then I noticed these moves are doing a lot of damage. This quick moves doing a lot of damage. It ends up being Razor Leaf, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. But the problem is, Shadow Armaldo is taking a lot of damage from the Razor Leaves, and I also have a Swampert. So when I save swap in the Venusaur, thankfully my opponent decides to stay in. So again, not exactly a top-notch play. Because they had such a positive situation, what I would recommend for this trainer would have been to hopefully have a counter in the back for my Venusaur and to swap out into that instead of letting their Shadow Venusaur go down as easily as they did. So again, a little bit of lack of experience comes back to benefit me here, but they had still a pretty positive situation. So they come in with Shadow Machamp, and Shadow Machamp is a strong Pokemon, some great league battles, and it's overfarming like crazy against my Venusaur right now, and I actually didn't realize how much overfarmed. I figured it had about 2 moves at this point, so I'm going to let this go through. I'm not going to waste their shields. They go for a Rock Slide, which I thought was unnecessary, and then I come into Swampert, and they bring in a Kingdra, so I swap into my Shadow Armaldo because I want to do something with it, and this was a misplay. I shouldn't have swapped. I just wanted Armaldo to do something here, but it ended up really not doing much and just giving this Kingdra energy. And I also really wish I had Sludge Wave because I think it would have CMP tie there at the Sludge Wave. I don't know who wins CMP between Swampert and Kingdra, but they get off an Octazooka, which I don't have a choice but to shield, and they get the debuff. And even though I overfarmed a bunch here, getting that debuff is huge because it forces me to go for an Earthquake here, where in Great League, even though the Hydro Cannons would have been like double resisted, I could have gotten it off and probably mud shot down, which would have allowed me to then Hydro Cannon this Machamp and actually win this match. And I don't end up winning it, even though they threw back-to-back unnecessary Rock Slides, and they could have gone for cross chops in both situations, and they ended up beating me. But no, props to the trainer. It was a very well played battle on their end, and even though there were places where they could have done things a little bit better, they still pulled out the dub, and I respect it. Now, getting into this next one, we see a Blaziken, which I respect, and I'm like, hey, that rock typing allows me to take neutral damage from the Fire Spin, so I'm going to actually stay in this and go for a Cross Poison. I throw it, and it does so much damage. I'm like, why did that hit so hard? I know Blaziken's glassy, and then I check the top right corner. The Blaziken CP was like 700 change, and so is this Perugly that just came in. So I go for another Cross Poison. They shield. They have Shadow Claw, which isn't really threatening me much, considering the fact that the Perugly is only around 800 CP. So they threw a Thunder there. I shielded it because even at 800 CP, Thunder was going to hurt. And I was able to Fury Cutter it completely down, and then they come in with a 700 CP Heracross, and I go for a Cross Poison here, which will get their last shield. And yeah, then I go for a neutral Rock Blast. And also, if you notice, their Heracross was running Struggle Bug, and Shadow Armaldo sweeps a Great League team in Go Battle League. No, I'm not going to be that clickbaity with the title, but yeah, so like I said, I'm very happy I didn't take these battles like too hardcore, too serious, and go with like my main team that helped me push the legend last season, because we're still running into trainers along those lines, and it's nice to try to have fun. And even though I'm still winning a majority of my battles, I guess with the spice, I'm still giving my opponents a bit of a chance. So getting into this next one, I'm going up against Whiscash, and then I remember again, oh, Whiscash is going to resist both my charge moves. So I gotta get out of here. I let a Mud Bomb come through. That hurts a lot for neutral damage. Yeah, Shadow Armaldo, it can be spammy, but it's spamming pretty trash moves, and it's super classy. So in case you were curious on to use Shadow Armaldo in some Great League Go Battle League battles, as much as I'm having a great time, I'm in some very positive situations up against some opponents that either need to power up their Pokemon or lack certain expertise in situations with PvP. So Armaldo is definitely looking a lot better than it would have in, like, you know, a push to legend set. But I can only battle the opponents in front of me, and this is my very first set of Go Battle League battles. What you also might notice is I think like everybody that, I don't know, got above rank 20 or maybe even above rank 10 or like did some sort of battles last season started at rank 2 this season. And I did notice there still were some rank 1s, but I don't know why some of us started at rank 2, a good majority of us. But yeah, I thought that was odd. I felt like there was something else I wanted to say, but at this point, Swampert allows me to flip switch because I spam the heck out of Hydro Cannons on the Hypno, and at this point, Swampert's done its job, so I don't mind it going down. I can line up Venusaur with this thing and hope that whatever they have in the back, Armaldo can do something against, or at least just have a better matchup against it instead of against Whiscash. And I actually ended up shielding here because I wasn't completely paying attention to my matches since it was my first set. I was like, kind of watching some TV and whatnot, actually watching some Twitch live streams. I highly recommend you go over there. Twitch is booming right now at the start of Season 7. Check out my Twitch. Check out other content creators' Twitches. Everybody's putting out amazing content right now. But, yeah, so I shielded a Mud Bomb that I definitely shouldn't have shielded, and I was like, oh no, is that going to cost me in a match? That should have been like a really easy W. They come in with a Machamp. We can see how much cross poisons are doing. I just realized this Machamp's not powered up to 1500 CP either, and I'm pretty sure that was Bullet Punch, which I didn't recognize in the moment either. But yeah, it was definitely Bullet Punch. Wow. Anyhow, they're going to get off a charge move here. Even if it's a Rock Slide, I'm not too worried about it. It ends up only being a Cross Chop, so I'm going to be able to Vine Whip the Machamp all the way down and take this dub. But I had quite the first set of battles. I don't know what else to say other than to not suggest Armaldo. Oh, that's another topic I was going to get on. Super Glassy, and it really needs new charge move. Fury Cutter, great as a quick move, but Rock Blast and Cross Poison are just absolutely garbage moves, and it really doesn't get access to better charge moves than that. I think it's like Water Pulse, which is also a terrible move. So if you really want to use Shadow Armaldo, don't. But wait for it to maybe get some sort of move pool update. You never know. I would definitely keep one on hand. You never know when anything random could become meta. I never would have expected Alolan Ninetales and Politoed to become great during the second half of last season. So you never know. Armaldo might get a good bug move. Maybe gets access to Lunge and then gets like Rock Slide. I think maybe with Lunge and Rock Slide, it could actually have some decent play, especially as a Shadow, dealing that extra damage and sacrificing its defense that's already low. So because of how low its defense is, I actually had to swap and catch a Mirror Shot on my Swampert here. Also, my opponent committed 2 shields in a situation where I only used 1, and also they're not using Bug Bite, and they were using Struggle Bug on their Fortress, and then they save swapped in a Latias. These are just my first battles. Like I said, I wanted to get spicy with it. I didn't want to take them too serious. This is the main reason why. I also did my 5 remaining sets on Twitch, so it becomes tough because I play a lot of music on Twitch that doesn't get copyrighted there, but will get copyrighted on YouTube. It's a whole weird situation. They also quit this battle, so they come in with a Skunk Tank. This was GG. But yeah, it becomes a little difficult to like balance what type of content, like my battles wise, because I only get a limited amount. I would love a practice mode so I can showcase some other stuff and not to worry about running out of battles and be able to put out content on Twitch and YouTube comfortably. But on that note, with Season 7 starting, one, check out my Twitch, obviously, for a majority of my battles. I'm there 5 days a week, but also because submissions are again open, so the link in my description to my Google Drive. Whatever battles, whatever you're excited to test, let me know if you have a Spice Pokemon. Show me if you have a Spice Pokemon that you're excited to use in some Season 7 Great League or Battle League battles, or you've come up with a really meta team, because I definitely want some go-to teams. I'll showcase the one that I had success with last season again. I'm sure it'll do well in some Season 7 Great League or Battle League battles. That was a weird glitch at the end. The Fortress got killed and then came right back in. And that ends up being the last battle of the set. So, I don't think I said in the beginning of the video to like, comment, subscribe. I probably forgot about it. I was too excited about Season 7. I hope I covered all my bases in chatting with y'all. Please do let me know how you're feeling about this season. Again, like I said, am a little bit upset. Not upset, but like I wish there were more move pool updates. I want more change in the meta, which is why, again, we went real spice to see what Shadow Armaldo could do. Not a Pokemon I recommend, but if you really want to, go for it. I mean, I went 4-1 in the set technically, but you saw the types of battles I did. And honestly, even when I stream my battles, a majority of them were against opponents similar to that. But I didn't use Shadow Armaldo for all my sets on Twitch. I actually used another team that I'm not going to talk too much about unless you've been checking out the Twitch content. Then you know what I've been using, and that'll probably pop up on YouTube soon, because it's a bit spicy, but I actually think it's a little bit more meta. But anyhow, I'm getting off track here. Point is, if you have a good team that you're excited about, or some new spice or some new shadows that you have been playing around with, and you're like, yo, I want to get this battle out there. I want to showcase how good I'm doing with this. The link to my Google Drive is in the description of this video. Feel free to send it through. It also helps me because then I could save some of my battles for Twitch, or it allows me to kind of like stockpile some of my battles, like less sets I upload on YouTube from myself, the more I can accumulate for videos for you guys. I don't know, for you guys outside of the shoutcast. I don't know. I don't even know if that made sense. I feel like that's got to make sense, right? You know, the more you give me, then the more I can give you, essentially, because then I can really focus on specific go-to teams and kind of like practice it and save some battles, so I don't have to constantly put it out for YouTube, so I can get you some better teams. But again, I feel like the Great League team that I already showcased last season is going to do just as well this season, and hopefully we do get an update. I'm just excited for the Legend push again, even though the pose isn't the most exciting thing in the world. I still, you know, it's just for the implication. I mean, I rock this pose, so I have no problem rocking any pose. It's gonna be really funny when I rock this very feminine pose in this muscle suit of Cliff's. But yeah, on that note, I've really rambled on. I've been doing that a lot more recently in the outros. I don't really know why. I think it kind of actually messes up my views, though, because it makes this video longer, which then gives it like less view duration, because not most people are sticking around towards the end of it. But I am on the longest tangent now. Please, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The support is extremely appreciated, and I definitely want to get you as much spice as I can and the go-to teams. We have 2 weeks, so make sure you also submit me your battles. I'm going to do as much content as I can so that you can get a nice variety from my channel, and you can continue to make the push to that Legend rank. Let me know how your battles have been. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thank y'all for watching. I will see you all in the next video.